So a simple thing that most men should say more often, hello. How many times do you walk by somebody and you don't even acknowledge their existence? So why do this? You're going to come off as friendlier, you're going to be more memorable, and you're going to practice actually interacting with people, which for you single guys, think about that. If you have practiced saying hello to people, whenever you want to say hello to that attractive woman walking by, guess what? You'll have the courage to do it. In today's video, gents, 21 things every man should say more often. So this one's really easy, but how often are you letting people know that you're rooting for them? You're their cheerleader. You're in their corner. You want to see them succeed. And this is something that's very easy to do, but so few people do it. And it's something your buddy just lost his job last month. You know, he's put out 100 resumes. He hasn't heard too much back. Guess what? He wants to hear from you. He needs to hear from you. And it's so easy to get on the phone and let him know, hey, I know you've got the skills, that you are going to find a job that's going to be better than your last job. So as human beings, we have a tendency to focus in on the negative, even if it's an outlier, even if the overall average is positive. Perfect example, your report card. Remember as a kid, you got all those A's, and what did your parents focus in on? That one C, maybe it was a D, maybe it was an F. In any case, overall, it was a good average, but they focused in on that one outlier. That is a human tendency. When you understand that, you also realize that people need to hear the positive, oftentimes many more times than they need to hear the negative. So my average rule, I know when I'm talking to people, is give them 5 positives for 1 negative. The point is you want to build up people by focusing in on the positive and letting them know that you recognize it. Now that being said, you can't ignore reality. Sometimes you do have to deal with the tough issues. So if you do have to criticize, take a play out of Greg Popovich's book and word it like this. Now, if you're not familiar with Greg Popovich, he's the amazing coach of the San Antonio Spurs. He was identified as actually being able to get more out of his players than any other coach ever. Now, the way he was able to get this amazing performance from his players is give them brutally honest feedback. You got to do it the right way. You've got to let them know, I'm going to give this to you, and I give this to you because I know you are capable of so much more. And when you do that right there, all of a sudden they realize, okay, this guy is looking out for me. This guy is giving this to me because he wants to see me at a higher level. So when was the last time you admitted to being wrong? I know for me, this is one of the hardest things to do, especially around the people I care the most about. My close friends, my company, my wife. Very rarely I am wrong, but when I am, I do try to be man enough to just admit that she was right, I was wrong. We probably should have gone with her idea. And boom, you guys, it's okay to admit you're wrong sometimes. Next up, I don't know. So I have to admit, this one has taken me years of practice to get comfortable with because I used to be that control freak. I used to be having to know everything. And if I didn't know it, I acted like I knew it because I thought if people are looking up to me, they are assuming that I've got to know everything and I've got to be able to tell them what to do, even when I'm kind of just flying from the seat of my pants. But then I started to realize, I started to look at other leaders out there that were open and honest about, hey, sometimes they have no idea. That's why you've got other smart people around you. And all of a sudden, it's okay to sometimes say, I don't know, and to ask others for help. And that takes me right to the next one. I need help. Now, I'm all about the individual and self-reliance, but sometimes, gentlemen, you do need help, and it's okay to ask for it. It may be monetary. It may be something that you need mental help, that you've been going through issues. Emotionally, you are unstable. I don't know where you need help, gentlemen, but have the courage to ask for it. Seriously, guys, you're not less of a man for seeking help. What can I do to help? Notice that you're asking permission. You are acknowledging that they are in charge and you're there just to support. This is really important, I found, especially when dealing with my wife, because sometimes she's trying to get ready. She's got all these things going on. And I used to just jump in and do things that I thought were useful, but come to find out, she's like, she really needed help somewhere else. So I have found that by saying this, I am showing, hey, I am here to support you. Just point me in the direction. I am here to help you. Now, the next thing that men should say more often, I'm here for you, is different because what you're saying is, I'm here, and then you're stepping off. You're realizing that this person may not even want your help, but you want to let them know that if they need you, if they want to call on you, you are available to support. Next up, I'm here to listen. And then guess what? You listen. You shut up. So many times we want to pontificate. We want to give them our advice, our tips, our recommendations on what they should do. That's not listening. Listening is actually opening your ears, shutting that mouth and letting them talk. Many times people, they don't want your advice. What they want is a sounding board. They want somebody just to vent to, somebody to be able to get something off their chest. They're angry, they're upset. They want someone that's simply going to take what they're saying, acknowledge it, and that's it. The next thing that men should say more often, I'm sorry. Those two words right there could save so many relationships. I have a friend, he doesn't even talk to his brother because he's too proud to say he's sorry. And it just drives me nuts because we only have so much time. Gents, if you can't even remember what you were fighting about, who was to blame, be the bigger man. Just simply call them up and let them know that you're sorry. Now, gents, if you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate the like. And if you're new to Real Men Real Style, well, subscribe, become part of our community, click on that bell notification. I've been told by the YouTube god Crom that you guys need to interact with these videos for more people to find them. So I appreciate when you guys comment, when you subscribe, when you interact with these videos. Now, these next three words are arguably the most important ones a man should say more often, and that is, I love you. And here's the deal. Nobody can read your mind. If you're not telling people that you love them, you got to assume that they do not know this. And that is not something that if they were to pass away, if you were to pass away, that you want there to ever be any question. I know with everybody I love, I now tell them that I love them every time I talk to them on the phone. And I know, guys, between men, this can get awkward, but let the men that you love in your life know about this with your dad, with your brother, with that coach that transformed your life. Let them know that you love them, that you care about them so much that you don't know how else to express this. These next three are basic manners. Please, thank you, and you're welcome. If you say these three often, guys, you are going to be an anomaly in today's world. Now, how many times you're around people and you know some people, but you don't know these others? Well, this is what you need to say. Hi, we haven't met. My name is Gents. It's a simple introduction, but nowadays it seems like a lost art. So make sure that you introduce yourself and you take the time to meet the people around you. So the next two things that guys should say more often, hell yeah or no. Now, why am I putting these two together? Because oftentimes we say yes to things that we're lukewarm about, that we've got an option, but we just want to be nice. We want to be courteous, and we don't have the courage to say no. You need to start making no your default answer. Now, I'm not saying that you don't say yes to things, but when you do, it should be a hell yeah, I want to do it. Because the problem is when you're saying yes to things that you're lukewarm about, that you're not that interested in, they fill up your calendar. And then you do not have the bandwidth. You don't have the time or the opportunity to say yes to the real opportunities. The next thing a guy should say more often, don't worry, I've already paid the check. The next thing that guys should say more often, I understand and respect your viewpoint, but my opinion is this. Gents, it's perfectly normal to disagree with people, but where the issues often arise is when the person you're disagreeing with, they feel slighted, that you didn't even respect or listen or even understand their opinion. So what you want to be really clear is, I heard you. I understand. I even respect your point of view from your perspective and the way you see the world. But understand, my opinion is different versus just going in and dismissing what they're saying. The next two things that men need to say more often, here, take my seat, hold on, I've got the door. And guys, this isn't about men being subservient to women. This is about treating your fellow human beings with respect. So if it's a guy with a cane, if it's a pregnant woman, I'm going to give up my seat. If it's somebody that has their hands full, I don't care what sex they are. I simply am going to open the door to make their life easier. Now, this next one's a bit different because it's not just you saying this to other people, but it's about you also saying this to yourself. And that is, I forgive you. So there are many people out there I know that you are holding a grudge against, you're upset with, and you know what? Let it go. Especially that person right here, you. Oftentimes we hold ourselves to a very high ideal. We go after these things, or maybe we made a mistake and we are still upset and blaming ourselves. Guys, it's okay to simply say, I forgive you. Gents, if you like this video, you're going to love this one right here. Body language mistakes. Go check it out. I talk about all the things that you need to avoid when it comes to body language. And if you want something else, check out this one, hand gestures. I've got 10 hand gestures that every guy's got to be aware of. You got to be careful you don't make these hand gesture mistakes. Remember, down in the description of my videos, I put additional information. Over at Real Men Real Style, my main website, where guys, I've got apps, free apps, yes, that you can download and be able to go through and get this information, infographics. I've got tons of free ebooks. So you want to learn about shoes, you want to learn about watches, how to dress casually. You want a freestyle dictionary. Guys, I've got you covered over at realmenrealstyle.com. Again, linking to it down in the description. And gentlemen, don't forget, I want to hear from you down in the comments. Let me know what what I missed, what you would have added to this video to make it better. That's it, gentlemen. Take care. I will see you in the next video.